believe we are now live on YouTube, so that is great. That is especially great. Yeah, there we go. Wait for some folks to get in. And we will go. What's up, Reaper? Thank you, bro. Very much. Yep. I appreciate it, man. We'll wait for some more folks to pop in. And, yeah, we'll just hang out for a bit. Talk about some Eagles stuff. Training camp. First practice tomorrow. What's up, Matthew? What's up, Matt? What's up, fellas? Thank you guys very much. For the birthday wishes. It's been good. I got out of the house for a little bit. See, what all did I do today? Well, first, I was over at the art museum, the place where, the Rocky steps are. I went down there, and that's a place I like to go to work out, to run and do some cardio, just run around, run up the steps and whatnot. I mean, a lot of tourists. There's a lot of tourists there today, man. It was kind of crazy. I usually don't interact with tourists that much, but yeah, there were a lot of people who were visiting Philadelphia for the first time. And they were just, they were having fun, and they were like taking pictures with the Rocky statue and everything. So, no, it was kind of awkward because I really don't interact with tourists, like I just said. But yeah, I just doing some cardio and some stuff. Then, I went out to eat around like 3 o'clock. Like, I was kind of thinking to myself, I was like, if you're getting food at 3 o'clock, around like 3:15, 3:30, what meal is it? Like, is that considered because that's like right between lunch and dinner. You know what I'm saying? It's like right there between lunch and dinner. So I'm just kind of like, because I meant to I was going to take myself out to lunch around 12, 1 o'clock. But then I was like, hold on a second. And then I lost track of time. Next thing you know, it was like 3 o'clock. So I finally went out to eat. And just stopped by to say happy birthday. Stay blessed. And always fly Eagles fly. Going back to my movie, Facing the Giant. Okay, Christian movie. Okay. Well, thanks for popping in, bro. I definitely appreciate the birthday wishes, and thanks for stopping by for sure. Yeah, I mean, people always talk about brunch, but what about, like, do you guys ever eat like basically a meal? Like, it's just weird. Like, I normally don't eat at that time, but I was hungry, and I was already out and about in the city, so decided to go get some food. After that, I came back home for a little bit. Then, just had cake and everything, and just hanging out. So, you know what? Before we do any more Eagles talk or any NFL talk, because there's been a lot of news, like, not really for the Eagles, but, like, a lot of stuff to talk about with the NFL, because the NFL season's almost here. So, we're going to take one shot for my birthday. The shot is dedicated to me, to myself. I'm taking it, sounds pretty arrogant, but I'm making a toast to myself. And this is for all the Philly YouTubers out there. All the guys that I've worked with in the past. A lot of the new guys. One thing I really want to say is there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent in this community. There's a lot of talent in this fan base. Guys that are making videos. So There's a few guys I want to give some shout outs to. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but if you guys have not subscribed to JC Eagles Talk, we did a thing last week where we talked about a lot of the off-season stuff. So definitely go subscribe to him, Bird Gang 31. He's also rising. Lindy Endzone, he's a rising YouTuber. I did a collaboration with him not long ago. So I mean, there's a lot of new guys in this community that's working hard. So definitely, I definitely want to also offer this toast to the whole Eagles community here on YouTube, because there's obviously like I said, there's just a lot of talent, a lot of guys working hard, a lot of guys just trying to get themselves out there to where they want to be. So shout out to them, toast to myself. So let's go. So just like I said, guys, toast to everybody that's doing their thing. And now we're going to go ahead and get into some stuff with the Eagles, some stuff with the NFL. And then, by the way, in about approximately 2 weeks, that's when we're going to be starting the Sports Gauntlet. I mean, a lot of you guys are aware. A lot of you guys do follow me on Twitter. A lot of you guys do. We're at the previous live stream that I had, which was about the announcement of the Sports Gauntlet. So, main thing I really want to say is it's not going to be just like Eagles stuff. Majority of you guys are Eagles fans. But at the end of the day, we love football. We love talking about football. So we're going to be covering everything with the NFL season coming up. So yeah, obviously there was a lot of news, and I'm going to get to the NFL stuff. I want to talk about the Eagles first. One thing that I missed, I think I mentioned it before on this channel, and that is the fact that Landon Dickerson, who I played high school football with. I don't know how well you guys can see my background, but I have the Devonta Smith, Landon Dickerson thing. It's really cool, even though Landon's not technically going to wear 69. Although, if what's his name gets fired, or not really fired, but cut, Matt Pryor, who has number 69, hopefully Landon reclaims his old number, because as you guys can, I mean, a lot of 69 jokes going on. You know, let's face it, we're guys. We make 69 jokes. But he made a lot of 69 jokes back in high school. So hopefully he reclaims his old number, so that poster will actually be. I mean, it's still cool to look at anyway. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a poster. It's not that big of a deal if he's not wearing that particular number. So Steven Nelson is wearing number 3. Yeah, that is a big thing that before I get into Steven Nelson though, obviously he signed his contract, so good for him. Obviously being his teammate, being his friend. I'm very happy to see it, because, if he would have been drafted by any team, I would have still been happy for him, obviously. But, he got drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles. He got drafted to the team I'm a fan of. So it makes it even better. Going to root for him even more to be successful. So, and as we can tell, Jason Kelce is getting up in age. He's getting up in age. So we don't know if he's going to retire after this season or not. That's kind of something we've been kind of expecting him to do for the past couple years, and he keeps coming back. So is he going to come back for another year after the season? He's going to be back in 2022. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, that's obviously up to Jason Kelce himself. But in the event that he doesn't want to come back, you got a guy that's going to be sitting under him for a year, picking his brain, learning from him. So if Kelce decides to go, then Landon's going to step in, and he's going to be ready to play. I honestly think he could be ready to play as a rookie. It's just, when you look at it, it's a positive. When you are able to sit behind a great player who is probably the best player at his position. I mean, is there a center in the NFL right now that's better than Jason Kelce? I don't really think so. Unless you guys I mean, there's obviously been some other centers like Marquise Pouncey with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he retired this offseason. And I don't think the Steelers were really expecting that. So that was kind of a huge loss, and they didn't really know. They're kind of left like, what are we supposed to do now? The Eagles, you don't want to be in that position. So guy like Landon, he's going to bring that stability. You have a plan in place in case Kelsey decides to retire. I think it was a good pick for that reason. But obviously there were some other needs that we did have. So it's kind of more of a big picture draft pick. So I'm happy for him. I'm excited for him. Ready to see what happens there. So let's go ahead and let's get to the big news of this week, which was the signing of Steven Nelson, who is a guy that's been teasing the Eagles fan base for a while. Darius Slay been on Twitter. Slay, big play Slay recruiting him and stuff like, hey, bro, come to the Eagles, come to Philly, we need you. And with the Eagles cap situation, it's been very complicated. It's been extremely complicated because we just haven't had that much money to spend. And you look at what the moves we made at free agency, signing linebacker Eric Wilson, signing Anthony Harris as well. We haven't really made a lot of big moves, but we've made like some little moves, like the moves that we at least could afford to make. We couldn't afford to do anything major in free agency, but next offseason, we'll have a lot of cap space, potentially 3 first-round picks as well. So I think the next offseason is going to be it's going to be a lot more interesting, and we're obviously going to be able to make bigger moves. But we've made minor improvements to the team, I would say. But Steven Nelson, man, I think this changes everything. I really do. And Steven Nelson, he's kind of coming off of a down year. I think that's why his market was not the best, for lack of a better word. But he's not a number one corner. That's been the problem with the Eagles. They haven't had like a number 2 corner. Slay he's clearly a number 1 corner. But the problem is the corner that's playing on the opposite side of Slay is probably a number 4 or 5 corner. Okay? You got guys that has not even played in the NFL that much. Guys with minimal experience. Either guys with minimal experience that just haven't played in the league. Guys that are too young. Guys that are undrafted. Guys that, we've never even heard of these guys before. Like Michael Jaquette. Like, I remember watching a Cowboys game, and I'm not even trying to be funny right now with you guys. I'm not even trying to joke around or make anyone laugh. But I swear, when we played the Cowboys in Week 16 last season, and the announcers were like, Michael Jaquette just got burned. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I'm not a casual fan. I'm not. But I promise you, I've never, ever, ever heard of this guy in my life. So, and this guy was just literally playing for us. You can't have that. It's either guys that can't play, haven't played, don't have the experience at this level, at the professional level, or the other thing is this. Guys that are not suited to be an outside corner. Guys that are, you got slot corners playing outside. You got Avonte Maddox, and you had Cravon LeBlanc, who just signed with the Dolphins this week. You got guys that are supposed to be nickel guys, and you got them lining up outside because you just literally don't have anybody. Now you got 2 guys. You got Slay, who's a bona fide number 1, and you got Nelson, who's probably as good of a number 2 as you can get. Okay, you can't really get much better at this point of the season, the off season, training camp, like right before training camp, getting a guy like Steven Nelson for $4 million. That's a great move. That's a great value move for the Eagles, and I just love the move. I think it changes everything for the secondary. When you look at the secondary, this has been the Eagles' bugaboos. This has been the major problem for us. It's been the major problem for us because it's like I said, our guys have just been getting exposed out there. But Mills he went to the Patriots. He signed a deal with them. We replaced Jalen Mills with a guy like Anthony Harris, who's actually played really well for the Vikings. I think that's an underrated move that no one's really talking as much about. But I think he's an upgrade at that position. Rodney McLeod's been with the team for a long time. He's got that veteran presence in the locker room. He's a solid overall player. So, having those two guys on the back end, and you got young guys like Kevon Wallace, who we're hoping can develop and, become key contributors for the Philadelphia Eagles defense. What's up, Burt Gang 31? Shout out to him. If you guys haven't, just go ahead and click on his little icon right there and go to his channel, subscribe. I think he's getting close to 200, and I think he said he was going to raffle off a autographed Dallas Goedert rookie card. So definitely get in on that, man. I would definitely get in on that if I was you guys. So check him out. But back to what I was saying before, you gotta have like that stability at corner. You gotta have the stability at safety. Jonathan Gannon's a former DB's coach, so you got young guys like Kevon Wallace, who we're gonna hope is gonna be a key contributor for us. He really didn't. He played a little bit last year, but overall, he really didn't get to do much. It was just a rough year overall for the Eagles, for the defense. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes. Really appreciate it. But you know what? He really didn't get to do that much. But with Gannon, he's a DB's guy. Okay, he's been coaching secondary for a long time. He had guys like who was that corner that was with the Vikings? What's his damn name? Xavier Rhodes. I remember him because he was actually getting destroyed by Alshon Jeffrey in the NFC Championship game in 2017 when the Eagles won the Super Bowl that year. But he was pretty much washed up at that point. Had a solid year with the Colts. So that just shows you that Jonathan Gannon knows what he's doing. He knows how to coach defensive backs. So he's going to put these DBs in a more of a position to be successful. With Jim Schwartz, he was obviously a big part of us winning the Super Bowl. I'm not going to say he was overall a terrible defensive coordinator, but there was a lot of things he did that, just weren't too good. Just weren't too good. Like the sticks defense, he pretty much just told everyone to back way off. He didn't blitz as much when we needed to blitz. Like he didn't really put the secondary in a good position to be successful. Having these guys back off, that's not going to do anything. It's just not going to do anything other than just give the opposing team a free first down. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like Gannon, he's going to not do a lot of the things that Schwartz was doing with this secondary, and he's going to put them in a better position to be successful. So the secondary, I think the secondary is very much improved with the additions of Steven Nelson and Anthony Harris at safety. So I think they're ready, and this pass rush is going to help them out even more. Obviously, our pass rush, we had among some of the most sacks in the NFL last season, and that was just because our defensive line is it's just been the lifeblood of this team for years now. Okay, Brandon Graham had one of the most productive seasons of his career, and I believe he actually did make the Pro Bowl last year. So amazing job by Brandon Graham showing that even though he's in this stage of his career, he's still ready, he's still productive. Fletcher Cox heading into year 10. Guys always demanding double, triple teams. When you look at interior defensive linemen, he's among the best of the best. It's hard to slow this guy down, and he's capable of taking over a game by himself. A lot of people look at the sack numbers for Fletcher Cox, but the sacks don't tell the story, man. This guy commands so much attention. Teams, offensive coordinators, they're always having headaches trying to prepare for this guy because they know what he can do. So you got to send double, triple team blocks. So you're leaving guys like Brandon Graham on the edge, and that's making his job a lot easier. You had guys like Ryan Kerrigan, who's a poised veteran, that's been really terrorizing the Eagles quarterbacks for a very long time. He's probably Ever since probably the Michael Vick era, he's been getting after our quarterbacks. He got after Foles, Vick, Sam Bradford, Wentz. The list goes on and on. So this guy can still provide something. It's kind of like a Chris Long-ish type of a signing. So our pass rush is still going to be getting there. The secondary is improved. So I think our defense is actually going to perform a lot better than what people are expecting. Let's see if we got any new comments. Yep, Bobby Taylor coming on the show. One of the most underrated Eagles cornerbacks. I mean, I remember growing up, and we had Lito Shepherd, we had Sheldon Brown, but before those two guys, Bobby Taylor was a great player for us. So I definitely recommend you guys subscribe to his channel. Go check out what he's gonna do. So do I think J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is gonna make the team, or do I think he's gonna get released? I absolutely think he's gonna get. If he makes the team, I will be so surprised, because I think the Eagles have. That's another thing that I think is not getting enough respect, I guess, is the receivers. I mean, I think a lot of the guys we have are not extremely flashy. I don't really feel like Rager. Obviously, I still feel we should have taken Jefferson there. But Rager, to say he was utilized to his strengths by the previous coaching staff, that's not true at all. This guy is phenomenal when you're able to get him out in space, because he's a speedster. These guys, you see what the Kansas City Chiefs are doing. They obviously have Tyreek Hill, but they also have guys like Mecole Hardman, who are not as good and talented as Tyreek Hill, but they still bring something to the table. So Andy Reid is finding ways to get Mecole Hardman the ball in space, and he's able to really be effective against these defenses. So I feel like that's the same way we need to utilize Jalen Rager's skill set. Give him the ball on end arounds. Get him the ball. Get him some screen passes. Don't just expect it. If you tell him to run a go route every single play, it's not going to work every single time. You can't just call 4 verts. Oh, this guy, he runs, he's really fast. So, he should just be able to run by everybody. That's not always the way it works. You got to get him the ball in space so he can use his speed and really take advantage, because that's what he brings to the table. He's a burner. He can stretch the field. And then you got Devonta Smith, who's a phenomenal route runner, who has good speed. Not as much speed as Rager, but still really good speed. So he can also get behind the defense when he has to. But he can pretty much just win his one-on-one matchup whenever he wants. So then you got guys that are flying under the radar that you don't pay much attention to. Guys like Greg Ward was a quarterback in college, and he transitioned to receiver, and his route running and his skills have gotten better the past couple of years when he's been, obviously when he finally got his opportunity to play in 2019. Guys aren't paying attention to guys like Greg Ward. You're not paying attention to guys like Fulgham. You're not paying attention to guys like Quez Watkins, who's also been working out a lot with Jalen Hurts this offseason. So, you're pretty much left with the odd man out. And that's probably going to be J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Even though John Hightower has, obviously came in as a rookie last year, but he had a lot of moments where he could have had so many more yards. He could have had more touchdowns. He just had problems with drops. His route running is really good. His speed is pretty good. But the hands, that was the big issue with him. But if he improved that even a little bit, I think that's enough for me to say I'm taking Hightower over Whiteside any day of the week. So, yeah, I definitely expect Whiteside to be getting released. So, if you guys have any more questions, any more stuff that you want me to talk about with the Eagles, be free. Feel free to let me know, and I'll definitely answer any of your questions about the Eagles. We got first practice tomorrow, guys. They reported the training camp today for the first time. So nothing like bringing it in. Today's my birthday. Thanks Lord Dagger for the birthday wishes. Thanks to everybody who wished me a happy birthday. But nothing like training camp. It's pretty much the start. That's pretty much the start of the Eagles season before the start of the Eagles season. Because this is when you see a lot of people talking about, what's going on in practice. Stuff that gets people really excited. Like guys just having matchups. Building that chemistry and that camaraderie with each other. So you know what? It's very exciting, man. Training camp coming back on my birthday. That's a pretty good birthday present, man, because I'm ready for the Eagles season to start. Obviously, I like other sports, but the Eagles are number one. The Eagles are always number one. Football is always number one. So yeah, man, really looking forward to that stuff with the Eagles training camp and heading in to the season. So let's see, we got a question. So do I think that Zach Ertz will be traded before week 1? That is, that's a tough question. I think it's possible. But I also kind of feel like if they really were going to trade him, it possibly would have happened by now. I feel like a lot of teams just don't feel like Ertz is that guy anymore. They don't feel like he's like the top 5 tight end that he used to be a few years ago. But I still feel like he could probably at least be a start, at least being a number 1 tight end for I just don't think he's as good as Goddard. I think Goddard is the better player at this point. And I've kind of been saying Goddard's been the better player for the past couple of years, which has kind of raised some eyebrows from a lot of people. But when I'm talking about the tight end, I'm talking about what personally I feel a tight end is supposed to be able to do. And there's a few things. It's not just about running your route, getting open, catching the ball. Okay, that's part of it. But when you catch the ball, what do you do after you catch the ball? Can you get yards after the catch? Ertz can't do that. Are you an asset? Are you effective when we are running the ball? Can you block? Ertz cannot block. So when I look at an overall tight end, he is not an overall tight end. I would describe him more so as, I'm not even trying to be disrespectful right now. So no disrespect to Ertz. He was a part of the team that won the Super Bowl. He had that game-winning catch that everyone says, oh, well, it wasn't a complete pass and all this other shit. The guy caught the ball and made a football move. That's 100% a touchdown, and I will go to my grave saying that. But that's besides the point. He's not an overall tight end. He doesn't do what tight ends are, what even an average tight end is supposed to do. Get yards after the catch. You're 6'5", you're a big, strong guy, and you pretty much just get tackled. You get knocked down by the damn wind. That's been the most frustrating thing about Ertz. He can't get yards after the catch, can't block, so he's not really effective when we're trying to run the ball. Goddard, he brings all that stuff to the table. He's not as good of a route runner. He's not a terrible route runner, but he's not a great route runner like Ertz is. He's got decent hands, but he doesn't have great hands like Ertz has. So really the only thing that Ertz has on Goddard, and I've been saying this past few years, he doesn't have the route running in the hands. Everything else does way better than Ertz. So I don't feel, and with Richard Rodgers, he's also a solid backup tight end. So even if we get rid of Ertz, I'm not really stressed out about like who we have behind Goddard. You know what I mean? So I feel like the Eagles don't want to take like 5th, 6th round picks for Ertz. They want to try to. I feel like the Eagles' bare minimum with what they really were trying to get for Ertz was a 3rd round pick, and I don't think like a lot of teams wanted to do that. But if they keep Ertz for like a couple weeks and into the season, and people see like this guy can still play and be effective, then I think teams might be willing to offer some higher compensation than what they were being offered previously. So I could see Ertz being traded before the season, but I could also see them keeping him, until week 3, maybe week 4, and then maybe a deal finally pops up. The Eagles almost dealt him before at the trade deadline, but unfortunately he got hurt like literally almost right before the trade deadline. So as far as Ertz, I can't really give a definitive answer, but I could see it going either way. Going either way. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's talk about some other stuff that happened that's been going on in the NFL. And probably the biggest drama of this entire offseason. Well, it's kind of hard to say what the biggest drama is. Probably the Deshaun Watson situation. And it seems like the Eagles have continued to be linked to Deshaun. And one thing I really, really want to say about this stuff is I kind of understand why it's being brought up, but at the same time, I don't think it would be the right move for the Eagles, and I'll explain why. Deshaun is such a good talent. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Okay? And he's clearly shown that since the few years that he's been in the league. But this situation, it's just too much for me to give up my assets and put it on this guy. Because this guy can get suspended. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if he's going to, get a bunch of charges. We don't know if he's going to clear charges. We don't know. There's too many I don't know. And there is I don't know with Hurts, but there's none of this. There's two different types of I don't know. With Hurts, his I don't know is he only played 4 starts. He had some good moments. He had some not so good moments. But a full offseason, full OTAs, working with these guys. What can he do? Can he show us, the Philadelphia Eagles, who could potentially have 3 first-round picks, which basically means we can trade up for any quarterback that comes out in the draft that we want. Or if there's veterans that become disgruntled, we can go after them. Going to talk about Aaron Rodgers a little bit later. Not that I think the Eagles are going to get Aaron Rodgers or anything, but if this is the last dance for Green Bay and it doesn't work out with Hurts, the Eagles have the most assets probably of any team. We've got 3 first-round picks just next year. Okay? So if Green Bay is looking to get something, we have that. But that's only if Jalen Hurts does not perform to how we think he can. And I'm here to tell you right now, with Jalen Hurts, he has so much damn swag. Like, he carries himself like he believes he's the guy. And with Carson Wentz, as talented as he was more talented and more physically gifted than Hurts. But what he lacked was the leadership and the confidence. Like, I'm here, I'm the guy, I can lead this team, I'm going to do this shit. That's what Hurts has. So I really think Hurts is going to succeed. I think he's going to have a great year. He brings a different dynamic to the offense. Obviously, he can run the ball, but he improved as a passer. You know, he even had a few 300-yard games towards the end of last year. And when you look at him at Alabama, he was not much of a passer. Like, he really wasn't throwing the ball a whole lot. But when he went to Oklahoma and he was being coached by Lincoln Riley, he evolved as a passer. So I feel like Hurts is going to always put the work in. His work ethic is, like, that's something that Nick Saban, all his coaches that he's been coached by, that's what they always talk about. This guy is not the most, crazy talented guy in the world. Not to say he has no talent, but, when you look at him, you're not like, when you watch Patrick Mahomes and guys like that play, you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe how good this guy is. That's not really what you see with Hurts. But Hurts, he can get it done. He's going to always put the work in. That's one thing you never are going to have to question is this guy committed to trying to be the best player he can be? He's always going to put the work in. He's always going to try to get better. You know what I'm trying to say here? So the things that he doesn't do well, he's going to focus on those things, and he's going to try as hard as he can to get better at that stuff. You know what I mean? So I think Hurts is ready, and I think he's gonna like grab the bull by the horns, and he's gonna try to make this his team for the future. He's gonna try to prove everyone wrong. There's a lot of people out there doubting him. Like, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to what stuff I've been saying. Howie Roseman wished me a happy birthday. I don't know whose burner this is, but you are the man for that. I'm gonna have to screenshot that, but man, I just got distracted by that. But yeah, whoever Howie Roseman is, appreciate the birthday wishes. But Hurts, man, if this is the one thing, like when we talk about Howie Roseman, we bash him a lot. He hasn't really made any great moves ever since the 2017 season. And when the 2017 season happened, you can't. A lot of people are going to give him a lot of credit for that. But when you look at what he did, signing guys to one-year deals, you know, that's kind of a high risk or a low risk, high reward type of a thing. And a lot of the times it's not that big of a deal because you're only offering them for 1 year. So if they suck, they suck. What's up, PGG? Thanks for popping in, bro. But, you know, I can't really give him a lot of credit for that because it's not really much that he did. Like, we haven't seen Howie, like, really go out of his way to make, like, a really risky move that could really, like, with, for example, the Jalen Ramsey situation. He didn't want to give up any really high assets for him. You know, Howie, he's the type of guy that thinks he can just fleece a team by, you know, trying to use leverage. Like, oh, this guy doesn't want to play for you, all this other stuff. That's how he tries to play the game. Okay, but you got guys like, I mean, look at the Rams. The Rams are just like, you know what, forget this fucking shit. We got Aaron Donald. We got all these guys that we think are quality players. All right, we're just going to say, fuck it, go all in. We're going to go after Matthew Stafford because we think he's a much-needed upgrade over Jared Goff. We're going to try to go after Jalen Ramsey. We're going to get him and bring him in because we think he's going to be a huge upgrade. Having Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald on the same defense, that's just crazy to talk about. Okay, Howie doesn't make those type of moves. He tries to get the best value without giving up a lot. For example, he got Jay Ajayi, who was a huge pickup for us at the trade deadline. Him with LeGarrette Blount paired in the backfield. That was really one of our keys to being so successful that year. He got him for a 4th-round pick. Jernigan, he got him for like a pick swap. Timmy Jernigan was another key piece for us on our defense. You know, he signed Alshon Jeffrey to a 1-year deal. Like, all these guys were 1-year deals. And then a lot of guys really, like 2017, that was just a perfect storm for the Philadelphia Eagles. But after 2017, it wasn't so much of a perfect storm. So a lot of the guys from that team got paid more money than they probably deserved. Because you were basically paying them off a 1 year. Oh, you helped us get a ring, so we're just going to give you, like, all the money that you want. Happy birthday, Jim. Another fucking burner. Andy Reid. Time's yours, Andy. Time's yours, Andy. We got to do a better job. We got to do a better job, man. I'm really loving these burner accounts. I don't know who's trolling me right now, but when I find out who it is, I might have to cash app you a few bucks. But seriously, man, it's just there's just a lot of stuff when I'm looking at this Eagles team. It's just gonna be different. It's just gonna be better. So Jalen Hurts, he's ready. He's ready to do this thing, bro. I'm really excited for him. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about some other NFL Eagles or non-Eagles related stuff. So now that we talked about the Deshaun Watson, got that stuff out of the way, I'm all the way riding with Hurts. So here we go. Aaron Rodgers officially reported to Green Bay. Their training camp is getting ready to start as well. So, you know, what's really the problem with Green Bay? What's the real problem? It's really hard to say what it is. But most of it, I would say, has to do with the front office. Erin has repeatedly talked about this, and he said, I don't. It's not about the fans. It's not about really the team. It's not about anybody in the locker room, any of the teammates, any of the coaches. But I don't like the philosophy of the organization. Okay, the philosophy of the organization is, they don't really value guys that's given to that team. For example, Erin was very upset a few years ago when, all of a sudden, they just decided, you know what, we're going to get rid of guys like Jordy Nelson, guys who Erin was very close with. So, if you're going to get rid of guys, the NFL's a business, so you're going to get rid of guys. But Erin, as much as he's done for that organization, you're not even going to, talk to him about some of this stuff. That's where I think it's crossed the line with Erin. I think Erin has kind of ignored it up until this point. But clearly, he's pretty much fed up. And this could be the last dance. Erin, you don't know what's going to happen this season. He could change his mind after this year. But it pretty much seems like this is the last dance. Him, Devonta Adams, it's very reminiscent of the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls' last dance. Jerry Krause was obviously pretty much a douchebag that really didn't respect the players that had really made him successful as a GM. And that's kind of how the Green Bay Packers, that's kind of how Aaron Rodgers feels about this Green Bay Packers front office. So I just feel like things could change, things could not change. We don't know how it's going to pan out. But I definitely think as long as you got Aaron Rodgers on your team, they brought back Randall Cobb, drafting guys like Amari Rodgers. Clemson is one of the best at developing wide receivers. As long as you got Aaron Rodgers under center, you got a pretty good offensive line. Your defense is not terrible. Kevin King got destroyed, but they obviously took a corner in the first round. So that's why I feel like for Green Bay, when you have a corner like Jaire Alexander, why not go after Xavier Howard? Xavier Howard requested a trade. So I feel like if you get Xavier Howard to Green Bay, where you have Jaire Alexander, bro, that would have to be hands down the best cornerback duo in the NFL. It would probably have to be the best. I really don't see how there would be a better duo than those two together. Now, obviously, he's very disgruntled. Obviously, he wants to get paid. Those are things you got to deal with. But if Green Bay is trying to win the Super Bowl this year, you got Aaron Rodgers. You may not have Aaron Rodgers. So this is the year that you got to go all in on trying to win it all. And I feel like if the Green Bay Packers made a move like that, they could possibly become the favorites to win the NFC and get back to the Super Bowl. So I'm a big fan of Aaron Rodgers. I love his game. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks I've ever witnessed personally in my life. So I hope he does win another ring, even if it's with Green Bay or another franchise. As long as it's not a franchise that's in the NFC East. Obviously, we don't want him going to the Giants or Washington. But, I hope he's able to do it and deliver for Green Bay if it's the last dance, if it's the last time with Green Bay. But, I pretty much thought this was going to happen. I didn't think I can't. A lot of people were talking about, is Aaron Rodgers going to sit out and miss the season like Le'Veon Bell? No, that's not what he's going to do, man. Aaron, he's too talented, he's too gifted, and he's overall just more professional than someone like Le'Veon Bell. So he's not going to go out of his way to sit out and stuff like that. Financially, he probably could afford to with the amount of money he's made in the NFL, just as a player, and his endorsements. Obviously, his State Farm commercials are very popular. But he's not that type of guy. So I'm not really surprised at all. Happy birthday, Jim. I know you're... I don't know who the fuck is doing this, man, but you definitely deserve a Cash App for that trolling, man, because All right. Anything else that's been really noteworthy? Really, just the Aaron Rodgers situation, the Deshaun Watson situation. Xavier Howard obviously requesting a trade. Could the Eagles get in on that? I don't know, man. We're gonna have to wait and see. But that is pretty much all I got for you guys today. Unless anyone wants to add to the conversation before I get out of here. So PGG, he's a Green Bay Packers fan, by the way. I knew he wasn't sitting out, and Adam Schefter got exposed. Yeah, Adam Schefter, like, he was wrong about a lot of shit. Like, he pretty much had everyone thinking that Aaron Rodgers was going to retire. Like, some people thought Rodgers was going to retire. Like, that's just fucking crazy to me. But yeah, Green Bay, I think they're right there. They're going to be one of the best teams in the NFC. Like, everyone's talking about the Rams bringing in that Matthew Stafford, but it's going to be tough. If the Packers have home field advantage, just like they did in the playoffs last year, like, do you really trust Matthew Stafford to go into Green Bay in the frozen tundra and win a game? Obviously, Tom Brady was able to do it, but you know that game was just a disaster. Just a disaster by Kevin King. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Appreciate it. Carson Wentz burner, Andy Reid burner / Howie Roseman burner. All we need now is a Marcus Smith boner. Jesus Christ, did I just say that? Oh, man, this is going to go down in history. I just said Marcus Smith boner. Live on YouTube. Yikes. Marcus Smith, burner. God. Yep, I'm about to officially be a meme. But yeah, man, I appreciate the love. Appreciate everyone that's been in the stream today. We're going to obviously be making more videos now that training camp is here. It's kind of been more so quiet. I've been trying to put out content when I can, but it's just not been as much happening. So it's been really a slow time of the year. But definitely I appreciate all the birthday wishes. So if you guys don't have anything else for me tonight, we love you, Jim. Okay, Andy Reid, Wentz, all you guys, thanks for supporting the stream. Thanks for supporting the channel. And I hope to see you guys again soon. But until next time, this is your host of the most, Philly Jim. I'm signing off, and I'll see you guys later.